After chapter 238 revealed that the next opponents for Sukuna are Higuma and Yuji, I decided to once again make a video predicting what would possibly go down in this fight now that we know my previous theory just got shit on along with Kashimo. Anyway, today I'm going to be talking about the potential outcomes of this fight along with answering things like if Yuji has a new ability, if so what is it, who's the best counter to Sukuna, and etc. So firstly, now that we know that it's Kashimo over, the best way to defeat Sukuna by this point isn't going to be through brute force. Kashimo tried this and had the best chance out of any of these guys and ended up getting overpowered. I believe the next course of action for the anti-Sukuna squad would be to suppress him enough so that they stand a chance. And the two key players that can allow this to happen are Higuma and Maki. Higuruma's stats aren't that impressive, but the main thing that's going to help him here is his domain expansion. You see, his domain negates violence and allows him to essentially convict his opponents, and if they are guilty, he can give them different types of punishment. One main technique we see him use is confiscation, which prevents people inside to use curse techniques, which, as we know by this point, is Sukuna's main way of overwhelming his opponent or his trump card. If Higuma can pull this off, this means Sukuna would be restrained to only physical attacks, which allow both Yuji and Maki to come in. Now, Maki obviously has the hands and experience to back it up, but I think the main reason why she's going to be pretty useful here is the fact that she doesn't have cursed energy, meaning things like auto hit domain won't work on her, along with it being more difficult for Sukuna to handle her due to her just being raw physical stats. Now obviously Sukuna has hands, but this is Maki's whole thing, and especially given the fact that she doesn't have cursed energy, which we know in Jujutsu Kaisen normally opponents just kind of predict off of each other's cursed energy, it's going to be way harder for Sukuna to specifically handle Maki. And then this is where Itadori comes in. Now, Itadori by this point is more than likely going to get a power up so that he can be pushed further ahead of the group and be the main one dealing damage to Sukuna. Now, at the end of the last chapter, we see him having some type of claws, which I don't know is an illustration problem or not, but it could lead into maybe Itadori using his own style of cleave, maybe delaying the cutting effects from when they happen, similar to his divergent fist ability, which can throw Sukuna off and allow Maki to throw more combos. There's also the possibility of him utilizing rage and maybe it amplifies his cursed energy instead of him needing to constantly control his emotions, which I believe is the simplest way you can have Itadori closing the gap, and it just allows him to beat up Sukuna. Although it's a little lazy, I feel like it fits with the character. I mean, maybe he can literally absorb the cursed energy leaking out of his body on some Mastered Super Saiyan Blue shit from Dragon Ball Super. There's really a lot of directions Geiji can take with this right now, but I really don't know where he's gonna take it. I mean, obviously this is a theory video, but out of the many interpretations, I can't tell you guys which one is the more likely. I mean, maybe you could have a little bit of both, where he does have some new type of power, but he's also on a whole other level with his rage boost. But that's all I can really say on the matter of if Itadori has a new technique or not. Now, Hakari is currently fighting Urame, which I think he's going to handle with high difficulty, which could lead into Kenjaku arriving to pick up on her slack, and this can finally lead into the fraud himself stepping in. I think after all this time, Yuta is probably not going to fight Sukuna, and if he does, is only going to briefly fend him off before Kenjaku intercepts and he fully focuses on him. From the start of the arc, we already know his main goal was to kill Kenjaku, so I feel like that's what they're going to go with this towards the end of the story. And aside from using Rika as a literal human shield for Yuji, or maybe Yuta could potentially copy his techniques, the next best thing for the character of Yuta is for him to kill the other main bad guy running around. And that pretty much wraps up my thoughts on what I think is going to happen in the next few chapters of JJK. Oh, and if anyone asked, oh, who's gonna die next? It's definitely gonna be Higuma. I mean, let's be serious. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any JJK related videos you'd like me to do next, and consider subscribing if you are new, share with your friends, share with your grandma, and I'll see you guys in the next one.